Hello everyone, this is Henry from Blue Heron Arts. I like to experiment a new brush to paint a Fu Baoshi style landscape. It's known as the split brush with the explosive stroke. And let's see how it works. This one I just did with this brush. It's a combination brush. When it's new and open it, you can see it looks like normal. But when you open it, you will see a brown wolf hair inside by soft sheep hair. So it's a combination brush. What's unique about this is it is not form a sharp point. It tends to split. That's what we need. So you need to soak the brush, and then you kind of dry it with a paper towel like this. So it must be quite thirsty, so there's no extra moisture in the heel of the brush like that. So it will split, okay. But it's kind of like too dry, right? So now you can load it. I just load it like that. So when you load it, you only load the split hair, not the heel, because when you have more moisture in the heel, it will tend to return to the original shape, like this. Okay, so you just go like plowing, and let's just do this side. I'm using very tough paper called mulberry. This is double mulberry, so it's not going to tail. It's designed to do this kind of style. So I can load a little more because we got some wet. So I use partially wet, partially dry. So I could go like this. Push up first to then turns down like that. You can have it like this, like an angular turn. You can have a slope, like a pushing. So this will make sure that the brush stays loose, okay, pushing. But if you pull, you'll get a fine line. So use partial split hair. You can do the contour like if you really want a delicate line, just use some split hair like a small brush. You'll feel it when you have it, you know. Just so I have a contour very fine, almost like a detailed style, right? And you can push up or push down like that, and he does it like a mopping. So just go exhausted. It's very important you don't reload until it exhausts. So just keep using it until you finish this whole section. Obviously it's not enough ink, but you want to keep going just to kind of create this. You can almost like get some ink from the wet part and then apply it to the dry part, and now you can use the heel of the brush just to blend it a little bit. There's some darks, it will come later, the dots. Okay, this is the Fu Baoshi style wrinkle technique or texture technique called split brush, and you can use partial split hair to reload it again, and just draw this top, the back layer. It's a little bit far maybe, so I can use a little bit blue in it. I got blue left over from previous experiment, so it's a little bit blue and some brown. You know, we can color it later. So this just could be just a top plane, the side plane, and you can. If you want, you can. If you want to create the misty effect, you can do wet into wet. When the dry brush is still damp, you can add some color to charge it, some vegetation. Okay, now I'm going for this corner. You can see my reference on the corner here. Get over here. We can start from here. So it's a little bit bluer. Just add a little bit. See, I kind of twist the brush, force it to open, and it will stay this way. But the more important is to keep this shape by pushing. So you push up like that or like this. You have to use your arm to control it, to make turns and some diagonals. And look for the pattern of the texture. It's like a drapery, you know. It wraps the mountain just like a piece of fabric over the mass of rocks. So there are some kind of underlying shape you want to keep in mind. Although the line is very loose, but your mind is should be concentrated on the underlying structure. But you don't want to. You want to hide that. It looks loose, but your mind is very short. Here's another triangular shape, like so you can call them large, medium, and small. Actually, there's another mountain there in the background. So, and just use the split hair to dot. You can get vegetation. Okay, sometimes it's too dry, right? You want to go slow or add a little more ink, otherwise you'll get this kind of chaotic strokes without the wrinkle line or the texture shaping. So you don't want to add too much shapeless texture, but more to find this what we call the wrinkle, just like a skin wrinkle, the same word, 春. Yeah. Okay. You can use a partial split hair to add inner contour or outer contour. That's you can use wet into wet to add different layers, like darker over light or light over dark. When you add layer, you better change the tones as well. This is a shady area. We will wash it later. And now I just add some more blue and water. You can, if you look at this detail, you'll see how rough the artist master Fu Baoshi did, and you can see the broken paper here. But this paper I'm using is very tough. It's not going to have this. But if you see this happening, you stop to avoid tearing. Okay, so let's try. I use the heel of the brush, just press all the way to the heel. See, I almost use the handle to draw. That's why you got this kind of broken, just like that. Concentrate on the ridge first, and then add a little water, maybe a little bit color. Still dry, should be pretty dry. Sorry, and then push up, make a corner, and dry brush. Just fine white, and you can use your finger to dry the brush further. Add some water to the tip, dry it so it will be lighter now. Just add some mist. This is the Yangtze River Gorge. In the distance, so there should be less dry brush, so you use water to soften this. Just clean water, soften it. Water. Soften the edges to the clouds here. You can start with dry brush and then you charge some color. Okay, here we got some darks here. Let me just grind a little bit, dark into wet. So should be the same distance, same plane. This dark indicate that. This is in the mist, so it's kind of softened. And he does it in a very rhythmic way. Some concentration on the shady part. Here also some dark, a little lighter than the right side. See, the sky is outside of the picture, so don't need to worry about that. We have a larger version which is bigger for larger size. You can also get this called Fu Baoshi landscape brush. It's also a mixture of soft and stiff. And this size is good for this 13 by 18. Some dry brush highlight the structure. After this layer dries, you will do the wash, the wet wash. You will dampen the paper and then do the wash. At this point, I just want to show you how this texture brush works. Texture brush strokes works. And some little strokes indicate feel of vegetation. You can see boats sailing in the gorge. This is the corner. There's some building in there. Try to identify the planes. Very fine dark line with partial split hair like this. It's still, you can do it like almost like a small tip centered stroke. Some curved lines there, something like grass. Just the feel of the luxuriant texture. Okay, like this. Preference smaller so you can see. I'm going to wash it. This is a larger version of this kind of brush. To mix some indigo with ink or mineral blue with ink. And just wash this before it gets dry, so we got a feel of mist. Wet on damp. To shade a little bit. This part, there's some brown in it. We leave some unpainted paper, and then you can add some brown color. Use the same stroke, same brush to apply it with the same kind of brush stroke to keep consistency, integration with the style. Just a little bit warm color in the foreground. Let it blend on the paper, the blue and the brown, but very light, not to interfere with the ink effect. You can mute it with some ink if it's too saturated. So there's different steps, like this here, too pure, too saturated. There's some brown in the foreground, all the way to the corner. Suggest more mountains outside the frame. Don't stop at the edge. It might look too pure, right? So you can add some ink. Just add some here. And when you do the color wash, it's slightly extended to the white clouds, soften the edge. You can see the first layer is pretty dry. So it's damp but dry, so not to have pockets of white. That's very important to keep. To keep. We call it zhenju bai or pearl white. Some white. And you expand with water. You want to soften that. So just mix right on the paper. This is a double shrine. Double mulberry. It's very tough. Not easy to get fuzzy or tone. And you don't need even to mount to see the color. Just to eliminate some unwanted white space to keep the good ones. Still leave some pockets of unpainted paper. Brown and the blue will cancel each other. The complementary will tend to be a nice gray. Let me use this new brush. Let's show you new brush. They're basically doing the same thing but smaller than the large one. Depends on what size you're working on. If you're working on this size, so this is enough. All the way to the edge, not isolated from each other. So there's no detail on these trees. It's in distance in landscape. You want it kind of blurry sometimes, but if not, you have to kind of drive it to bleed. You can just add water to the area next to the stroke, the dry stroke, so it will not completely blurry. It has some substance in it, while you create a misty effect. Mist is in this mountain and the trees. There's no shape. They just feel it, right? Okay, now we can use the tip of the brush to draw the boat, the sail. It's outside the bottom here, foreshortened from the top. Looking at from the sky or the mountain. Okay, it becomes smaller with this turn, some smaller. So there's a rhythm, the numbers, some too close, and this the third one separate. We call rhythm. Not much detail, just enough to echo the other colors. We just add a little blue to the white sail, maybe a little brown to the boat. Not too much. More brown to the foreground and more green to the background. Brown and has yellow in it, so you can create an illusion of like a pretty green here, right? If you mix them. But I do to be very careful to leave some white space here and there, so it's not totally blocked the chi. You can add a little darks if you need it. It will be blurry because it's wet. Just to bring them together. My version is a little bit too wet, maybe tempt. I'll do a class tomorrow, so this is my warm-up exercise. I've been doing Fu Baoshi style landscape since I was my teenage boy. I had an exhibition piece in his style, winning into provincial recognition by publishing in the government-sponsored government official newspaper in the Jiangsu province. So that's how I got started. This particular regional style originated in Nanjing led by Fu Baoshi and the Nanjing School of Artists. Collectively, their other masters were younger than Master Fu. He is the father of this so-called new Nanjing landscape school, because there was a Nanjing school in the Qing dynasty associated with Shitao and early Qing dynasty. Fu Baoshi started another Nanjing school of contemporary style landscape. This kind of characteristic brush strokes called split hair brush. If you want to make the river feels more whitish, or the clouds, we may wash the sky with this kind of gray, or I think he probably did it with a light ochre or amber. He used warm sky always because the time is revolutionary age. They like the warm color. So for me, I maybe just do very light, just to eliminate the white paper. And so the cloud, the white, the water will stand out, and the green water, is more misty, less white there, right? But in the distance, the cloud has a shape more whitish than the mist in the near ground or the foreground. So we have edges like this. Just add a little touch of just to integrate this black. Dry brush on wet, damp, subtle, very subtle. This is the empty space white, suggests the water. If you like, you can draw the wake or something, but I think he didn't do that. I will leave it out. Just wash a little bit. Actually, he did the sail a little bit darker than the white. Let me just give it a try so you can see the color, the noise. Want to integrate this part. Too much white may draw much attention from the river gorge. Let's divide. You take the reference away from this corner with the whole painting. Want to mute the saturation a little bit. It's a little bit too parallel, so I have to give the indication of a house. You're near the end of the painting when you pay attention on those eccentric dots. it created rhythm. Brush suggested detail, depths, not details, what they are, but the feel of the wholeness. You will dry lighter. You see the mountain. That's why I want to dry it to show you the true color of the dries. However, when you wet mount or dry mount it, the color will come back a little bit. Sorry about the noise. Finished. I'm going to sign with a small brush because in landscape you want to keep the characters inscription very small. You don't want to destroy the proportion. You can see how his signature small is. He wrote a line from the Tang poet Du Fu, but I'm gonna just write homage to Fu Baoshi, a respect to Fu Baoshi, homage to Fu Baoshi. Year 2025. See, he's a contemporary artist. He like to use common era instead of the old way after the revolution. Use common era. And this is the March 19th. You can write place or something like that, just to use the space like okay, that's my experiment with a new brush and my old favorite artist from my hometown Nanjing, Fu Baoshi's landscape. Maybe I will send a picture to the class so we can study this one as well, in addition to the one in the handout tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you in the class.